So there's been a hashtag that's been trending for around a week at the time we were recording this, mostly on Twitter, called Save Red Dead Online. There are posts on top of posts with people putting up screenshots from the game, begging Rockstar to put as much effort into RDO as they do GTA Online. And in the course of all of this discussion, there's also been several lists put out by players just kind of theorizing things they would like to see added to Red Dead Online, and I thought I would cover some of the more interesting ones that I saw in there today. Firstly, let me start off by clarifying that I have played RDO on and off for years, with this year being the first year that I've really gotten invested in playing it to such a degree. Although new roles were present when I came back, largely the games remained unchanged and without much incentive to keep earning money when there's nothing new for me to buy. I am in love with this game. The world building and the overall feel of getting to make your own cowboy, cowgirl is something that feels super authentic to the world they've created. The only real issue lies in with how the game is handled. The economy feels incredibly grindy without much reward in it. The game is littered with hackers and no private lobbies to escape them. Then, there is no notable updates since the Blood Money update back in July of 2021. I'm not saying I expect weekly notifications, but 6 months with no major changes to the current state of the game or anything really aside from a lukewarm Christmas event where money and XP were doubled? Oh yeah, and the map is covered in snow and decorated with Christmas decorations. All this Christmas event reminded me is how miserable the cold weather is and how I'm forced into wearing outfits because of it. But now, it's just everywhere, including in St. Denis and in the swamp, somehow. Anyways, let's get to some of the things that are being demanded, as well as some things I've had an interest in seeing in the game for a while. Something that is heavily sought after and honestly should be expected after GTA Online is the Rockstar editor. Something that would really shine in such an aesthetically pleasing game like Red Dead Online. This would also open up the community to creating clips and films in RDO that could be very similar to the ones that we see from GTA 5 due to the fact that that game has a Rockstar editor. It would just allow people like me to do sort of cinematic things in the game as well, and I think that's something that honestly should have been put in from the very beginning, which kind of applies to a lot of things on this list. Next on the list is Heist. This is somewhat present in the game, but it's typically very particular missions that don't typically give the payouts like you would see in a GTA Online heist. It would be nice to see something similar. On that same note, in-world crimes would be a nice addition, similar to like train robberies or store robberies that you see in the main game. This would give players actual incentive to play dishonorably. As it stands currently, being dishonorable only gives access to specific criminal missions that give very little in the way of reward, and quite frankly, it's just better to be honorable. Another thing that I'm thinking about, what about properties? I feel like there's a lot of people who enjoy the nomadic style of the camp and sort of the never tied down aspect of being sort of this cowboy that travels from place to place, but I personally would like to see a ranch, you know, like a farm where I could own a house or maybe an apartment in St. Denis that you could own, and it would serve similar functions to a camp just without the business side of things. So think of like a GTA Online apartment with a wardrobe, customizable interiors, a place to collect mail, that kind of thing. This has long been established in GTA, mind you. Apartments have been around since I think the game debuted, unless I'm mistaken, or since the online version of the game debuted. But in GTA Online, properties serve little more than being a hub for work, heist planning, or being a garage for the next 10 cars you're going to have. This is a really huge missed opportunity, but not as bad as some of the other things that are on this list. These next two are something that I largely believe should have been in the game from the very beginning. The first one being multiple character slots. Once again, this is something that GTA Online and most online multiplayer games will allow and have had from the beginning. Multiple character slots allow you an opportunity to try different paths. In its current state, I can only go one way or the other with little room for variance without heavily having to work from one end to the other with my character in terms of like honor. I would love to have a dishonorable character I can switch to when I want to do really criminal shit, or if I just want to go into a lobby and just start murdering civilians. I would love to be able to do that on a different character that I haven't attained like the highest form of honor on, like I have my current one. Next up, private lobbies. This is something that, once again, like the character slots, is established in most multiplayer games like this. Yet, for whatever reason, in Red Dead Online, it's completely non-existent. However, I will be linking in the description a mod that currently works that enables private lobbies where your friends can join you. Basically, this is great because it allows me to avoid hackers, and it allows me to avoid, harassment from other players whenever I'm doing things like trading missions, whenever I'm doing things similar to like moonshine selling and so on and so forth. It just makes it to where people don't really interfere with you, and honestly, it's something that should have been in the game in the first place. So thank God for modders, because they'll do everything that the gaming companies won't. One of the last things I'll talk about, even though this video is only scratching the surface in terms of the content that could be put into this game, I want to talk about possible map extensions. Possibly the inclusion of Mexico as an extension of the world, which would give way to new jobs, new clothes, new equipment for your character, along with an entirely new section of the map for you to explore. Finally, please, for the love of God, continue and finish the main storyline of RDO. We have been sitting on a cliffhanger for however long the main storyline has been out at this point. There has been no resolution or closure for both Leclerc and for our characters themselves. Purely from a storytelling perspective, this is a poor handling of it, as more story stuff comes out with career paths like the Moonshiner campaign, for example. It seems more and more like there's no intention of ever finishing the story, which would be a shame. And ultimately, I don't know if that was the intention from the beginning, to leave it as sort of this cliffhanger where our characters never really get any resolution, but I wouldn't like that personally, so... Ultimately, this sort of comes down to how I feel about the Save Red Dead Online movement. And I do believe in short term, it's great at showing how gaming communities are willing to come together to stand for what they believe in and stand for a game that they love. However, I also have to acknowledge the painful reality we live in, where there is more than likely not going to be a change in anything. Rockstar has shown time and again not to care about what their fan base wants if it isn't considered extremely profitable. We are constantly shown how much love and care is given to GTA Online, while Red Dead Online grows more and more stale with each passing month as GTA Online gets new content with every update. This isn't to throw shade at the GTA Online community. I'm throwing more shade at Rockstar for sort of prioritizing one online game over the other and just kind of letting the other one burn out as the other one continues to just get update after update, content after content. And so ultimately I want to be optimistic about the future of RDO, because I do feel this is a beautiful game with a lot of possibilities for what can be put into it, and a very long lifespan for this game if Rockstar chooses to put the time and effort into it. However, things look more and more grim each day, and each passing month with little to no actual updates. So here's to hoping that Rockstar will pick up the slack and give this game the attention and love that it truly deserves. But I guess we'll just have to see. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am Tom McAllister. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye!